This is Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. Here now, Tony Bruschi.
Let's talk about the most disturbing dynamic in the Donna Adelson trial. And no, it's not the murder. It's not the wiretaps or the washing machine full of soggy dollar bills. It's the relationship between Donna Adelson and her son, Charlie. Isn't your standard overbearing mom territory. This is decades of emotional programming that blurred the line between protection and possession. And in this segment with Robin, we're going to walk right into the core of it. The codependency, the control, and the chilling concept of emotional incest. Not in the sexual sense, but in the psychological one. When a parent uses a child to meet their own emotional needs, when the son becomes the stand-in spouse, when love is a leash. We'll unpack the way Charlie deferred to Donna like she was a mob boss wrapped in a fleece cardigan. How every big decision, especially the darkest ones, seemed to flow through her approval. Robin maps out the behavioral roots of this, how programming works, how it starts in childhood, and how someone can grow up brilliant on paper but remain emotionally stunted in the shadow of a manipulative parent. And we don't stop at Charlie. We pull in Wendy. We pull in Harvey. We even touch on that grotesque little Hitler joke Donna made about her grandkids, you know, like you do. About your Jewish grandkids and Hitler. A line so disturbing it might actually have accelerated her descent from eccentric grandma to probable mastermind. When you peel everything back, this isn't just a case about a murder for hire. It's a case about power, emotional power, twisted through fear, loyalty, and decades of learned obedience. Donna didn't just lead this family, she owned it. When the walls closed in, she did exactly what narcissists do best. They let everyone else take the fall. Let's close this out with a question that may never be fully answered in court, but matters just as much as any verdict. What does it take to break free from someone like Donna Adelson? Let's get into it.
So it's interesting. So anytime you have a codependent relationship here, you know, where you have an adult, a parent, and a child, a lot of times that is spurred on by something really unhealthy going on in that family. A lot of times it's spurred on by alcoholism by one of the other parents, or some sort of overuse, abuse, or something that causes the one adult to gravitate towards a child and put that child in the parent role rather than the actual elder adult, like the husband. So I'm just... Again, who knows, because I have no data on it, but generally when we're seeing codependent relationships, they're sparked because of that. And so the fact that he seems incoherent or doesn't speak much, I wonder what's going on with him that created the relationship where she went to the son and not to him.
Well, oftentimes when you see very, very narcissistic individuals to the point like Donna is, you find the partner to be very passive. It's usually the opposite. And that partner needs that. And it works to a certain extent. One's usually fairly miserable and just kind of provides, and the other one takes everything emotionally. Right. But if Harvey has been emotionally absent. Again, this is just conjecture. I don't know. But if he was not able to give Donna what she needed emotionally, and Charlie filled that void for the emotions, Harvey provided the money. He provided the means. Right. But Charlie, he conditioned from an early age, and I would say it goes beyond conditioning. I say it goes to programming. I think it's a step above just conditioning, where he is programmed to do whatever mom says, and it's all because mom loves her and he loves mom, and they got each other's back no matter what. And it's a really tight mother-son relationship until he finds himself behind bars for the rest of his life for doing mom's bidding. And he still seems to kind of believe that this is, you know, we gotta help mom. This is my plight in life. This is my role in life. He's been programmed to believe that. And I think it really comes out in the Catherine McBotta testimony, where she was talking about, he had to go consult mom when they're having conversations about the hit. Like, let me go call mom. Let me see what she thinks about this and that. And the whole motivation when describing why he wanted this to take place, it was never about, Wendy's really, she's stressed. She just hates this ex. He's making life a living hell for her. It was mom's upset. Mom can't sleep. Mom's throwing up. Mom's just so distraught that the grandkids can't be around. It wasn't about Wendy. It was all about mom's feelings. And that is Charlie's plight in life. And I don't think he saw any other way around it. As weird and obvious as it is to all of us on the outside, he was so enmeshed and they were so codependent together. I think he was completely blind to the evil of Donna Adelson.
100%. Definitely blind to it until you can actually see again. Yeah. I actually tried looking up, and I didn't get too much more details on it. Again, other people might have it if I missed it, but I was trying to understand why Wendy got divorced in the first place. And all I saw was they didn't get along.
They didn't get along, and she even admitted on the stand the other day that it wouldn't have happened had it not been for Wendy and Charlie and Harvey all pressuring her to get divorced because they didn't like him.
Yeah. So that then goes, because that was my theory. I was trying to look for proof of it.
It's there, yeah.
And so the whole thing continually stems around. So if everyone keeps going back, so again, when we're looking at patterns of behavior, and this is what I was looking at when I was looking at this case, if every single event throughout this family's arc, the family's arc now, keeps going back to her, to her. What does she think? What does mom believe? Everything keeps going back for approval, confirmation, whatever it is. So why would this one action be different? It wouldn't. It just doesn't make any sense.
And it shows that she really did try to exhaust all the options here. She tried to bribe them with $1 million.
Yep.
And then when that didn't work, it was, well, let's go after the emotional end of things. Let's go after the psychological end of things. And she literally talks about having the kids baptized. These are kids being raised as Jews. Danny was a Jewish man, and raising them that way. And Wendy was okay with it. It was fine. It's what they agreed to as mother and father, which is the only two that matter in the equation. Donna's opinion does not matter, but Donna seemed to think her opinion trumped everybody else. So they're being raised, in the Jewish faith. Nothing wrong with that. That's fine. But Donna hated that. Donna goes
up to as Hitler.
Donna goes all the way to suggesting dressing them up as Hitler Youth and sending them a picture. What does that say about the lengths this woman is willing to go to offend, to piss off, to do what, I don't know what her goal is in that, but it ended up with Dan Markel going to a court saying, it's not appropriate for this woman to be around my children anymore. And then that seemed to be the catalyst that after that move, we were no longer talking about dressing the kids as Hitler Youth or getting them baptized in the Christian faith. It was, let's find a hitman, it seemed.
Yeah, it was an arc. It was, tell me it's not the most obvious escalation arc of violence. I mean, it fits that pattern. Then always throw on the conjecture hat here too. So I wonder who else, dodged a bullet by this case coming to light, because if she hated someone else and she did it once, she's the likelihood of doing it again is high.
Well, what was very surprising from Wendy's testimony was that boyfriend that she had for a short period of time who testified and said the weirdest phone call after they had broken up. Wendy calls and wants to know where he's going to be, what route he's traveling that day, where he's going to be at this point in time. And those specific points and times and locations all coincided with the murder, as if there was this last minute thought of, oh, let's say it's your ex-boyfriend. He must be jealous, out to kill your ex-husband. And this, I could just see Donna having a light bulb moment, very cartoon-like, while she's sipping on boxed white Zin, going, oh, wait, this is it. We're just going to blame this boyfriend.
We got a fall guy.
He's our fall guy. It makes total sense. I saw it on Dateline once. It's always the ex. And that just
all the kids going along. Okay.
Yeah, and call him, honey. See what his plans are. And it makes you wonder, did Wendy know why she was asking him those questions? Or did Donna just say, call him and ask him these questions? I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Does she have a lifetime of reps of knowing how to be compliant, and that's the only thing she knows that she does? That she, from a young age, just learned never to challenge what mom thought.
I'd say that's a hard yes.
Yeah, because think about it. It's like every time, it's like everyone keeps saying, "Did she know? Doesn't she know?" Well, how come she wouldn't have some curiosity? Well, if you've been bred to never be curious and never ask questions,
Yep.
then is she culpable? Because again, so I think with Wendy, we are seeing an arc in her behavior of just not being curious when things were odd. And so, I know it's 50-50 what everyone's thinking on it, but I
think you're exactly right. It's so different to us on the outside looking on. This is any case. It's like, how would you think this way in all these? Like, why would you do that?
Well, we do when you have empathy.
Yes. And when you understand how this person was raised and what they're going through, what they view as normal,
yep.
what their prism says is accurate, they're not going to think anything different until something horrible happens and really points it out. And it feels like now they've somewhat wised up, at least a bit. Wendy still seems to be holding a bit of something there, and it may just be self-preservation if I don't want to say anything more that's going to get me in trouble, or is she still defending Donna? I don't know the answer to that completely.
I think she's still fearful.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the testimony of her older brother, and again, family means a lot. So here's what we do know: family means a lot to them all.
Yeah,
everyone's opinion in family meant a lot, and still means a lot. And then if all of a sudden you have one family member that's now being incongruent with taking care of each other, which is the mother who's not taking care of anyone anymore, it starts having that fracture. It's probably extremely sad for her as well. At the same time, she has reps of constantly supporting the mother and also fear, because the reason why, whether she's aware of it or not, our greatest motivator is fear. Yeah. And that's what you think Donna wasn't using fear as a motivator in life? And she used psychological fear, the fear of me not approving of you, the fear of me chastising you, the fear of the silent treatment I'm going to give you if you don't do what I say, the fear of me saying that I no longer care about you because so all these things that she said, you cannot care too much.
And the reality is, even if that person that you're fearing no longer holds the power, if that's been programmed into you, conditioned into you for the last 40 some years of your life, it's not going away. It's still there. Your body, your brain is still going to react that way. You have to be the one that breaks that open and says, it's not there anymore. And even then, that's going to take years to break down, if ever. It's such a visceral reaction because that's all you know. And that's how you're going to operate.
I give a lot of grace to them going through this as they're making their transition out of this, because that's not easy. I mean, you are literally having your own self-image of what you thought about the world, what you thought about yourself, what you thought about your mother being shattered and kind of redefined. In other words, you're living a lie, her lie. And so facing that in a courtroom with the entire world to see cannot be easy. At the same time, you were I wouldn't say a willing. You were a bystander in some capacity of your ex-husband getting bumped off. Who knows if you actually would have divorced had it not been for your mother? Yeah.
And what did you know of it? I mean, I still question what Wendy knew. I do wonder if she knew something was going to happen that day, but something could mean anything. Something could mean, we're going to go confront him. We're going to go, and not necessarily death, but maybe he's going to go get beat up. Maybe he's going to be pressured. And we're going to do something to change his mind. So Donna gets what she wants. And I'm wondering if Wendy thought, well, they're going to do something. And I'm not going to, no matter what I say, they're going to do it. But I don't think they're going to go that far. And then she finds out they went that far. I mean, she was the first to admit it in the questioning when she got pulled in that day. Do you think your family is capable of doing this? And it was like, maybe. Who, Charlie? I mean, she went right to it immediately. So I do wonder about that. But at the end of the day, even when we break down all of this, with all of these people, the psychology of this whole family, what is going to matter here is what the jury thinks. And one of the biggest tells in that courtroom is not necessarily the testimony of the kids or the detectives. It's Donna Adelson. And she is supposedly going to testify. She may have already by the time you watch this. I don't know. But before we even talk about that, because we don't know if what that will look like, I'm sure it will be a very balanced, accurate thing that's going to clear everything up. And we're going to feel, oh, we all misunderstood that woman. Let's let her go. And let's go have an espresso after court and laugh about it. No, it's not going to end that way. What is going to happen is they're going to take that information and they're going to weigh it with her reactions. And her reactions in court have been very interesting, to say the least. We've talked about it a little bit, but what do you think the jury has been gleaning off of Donna's seemingly inability to hold back how she feels about every person that walks in front of her?
Yeah, chaos. I mean, that's a chaos brain to me. I mean, she's all over the place. To me, she struck me as someone who's trying to be what she thinks she's supposed to be and doesn't know what that's supposed to be is. Mm-hmm. I mean, the fake tears the other day, the emotional responses to things, because you don't know what's causing the emotional response. I mean, it just seems very incongruent with what's going on in the courtroom. All of a sudden, there's like this emotional response to something. And I was like, what's that caused by? That's kind of weird. Yeah. I mean, because that's what everyone keeps seeing probably from the jury's standpoint is that was weird. Mm-hmm. What I'm curious about what she does on the stand when she testifies, which is, again, it's always fun watching someone who thinks they know more than anyone else testify. I think it's going to be a great show.
Yeah, that's going to be like some popcorn.
Here's where she has a very unique opportunity. I don't think there's any saving herself in this. I'll be interested to see if she tries to save her daughter.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't take her saying, I'm culpable, I knew about all this, but I'll be interested to see if she actually says, you know, I got this relationship with my kids, and to my downfall, I've always, like you said, I've always viewed my kids as my 5-year-old little kids. I've just never had grown beyond that. So, you know, rightly or wrongly, I've never shared anything of my personal life with my daughter because of X, Y, and Z. In other words, it'll be interesting to see if she goes out of her way, not to defend herself, but maybe to segregate them from it. Or is she not gonna? Now, me, I don't think she's gonna do that. But I think her testimony is actually gonna potentially double down the family coming at her.
This is the woman who put cash in the washing machine. Do you think she's capable of being out there and trying to save her daughter? Or do you think she's going to go out there and let's say that that's her intent, but she ends up incriminating her more? That seems more likely of like, I'm going to go out there. I'm not going to do anything to harm Wendy. And she just ends up saying something that totally incriminates Wendy. And then Wendy ends up behind bars. And Donna was like, I was just trying to. And, you know, well, guess who else is now serving a prison sentence? So here we are at the end of the story, or at least the end of Donna's carefully manufactured narrative. Because if nothing else, this trial has shown us that the web Donna spun wasn't just made of money and phone calls. It was made of control, guilt, loyalty, and a lot of programming. Charlie may have been the guy moving money, making calls, drawing maps, but you get the sense he was still that kid in the backseat, waiting for mom to tell him which way to turn. And that dynamic, intent gets twisted. Morality gets muted. Suddenly, you're in way too deep in telling yourself, it's all for family. It's what mom wants. Mom's never steered me wrong, right? Well, Robin hit the nerve right on the head. This was a family built on obedience, not trust, appearance over truth, love, maybe, but only if it looked a certain way, performed a certain way, paid out a certain way. And when it came time to take the fall, did Donna finally step up like a mother who cares too much? No. She took the stand to protect, not to protect, but to spin. And what will that spinning do if she does take the stand? It's going to pull her children closer to the fire. There's something tragic about watching an entire family realize, on the witness stand no less, that the person they spent their lives protecting never really had their backs. Donna cared about Donna. The kids were pawns. The husband was a ghost. And now the whole thing is crashing down. One behavior, one transcript, one courtroom glance at a time. So where does this go from here? Maybe charges for Wendy, maybe not. Maybe a long sentence for Donna, maybe a plea deal. But no matter what happens, the illusion is over. The family has seen her for what she really is. And now, so have we. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section on YouTube. If you're not there already, search Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. You'll find us there. You can make that same search wherever you get podcasts and follow us there. Download us there. Take us on the go wherever you may be listening or watching us. We do greatly appreciate that. Until next time, I'm Tony Bruschi. We'll talk again real soon.
Want more on this case and others? Then press subscribe now and don't miss a moment of true crime coverage from Tony Bruschi and the Hidden Killers podcast.